Hey guys, welcome to another PaynePoints Mini. I am Sarah Harbuck, and today we're doing something a little different. With me is Ray Coleman. Hey, Ray.
How you doing?
And we're going to do something called COVID Safe Zones, where we highlight local to somewhat local businesses and how they have adapted to the times and all the fun things that go along with that. So, Ray, why don't you tell us who we're going to be discussing today?
Sure. Thanks, Sarah, for the introduction. Thanks for indulging me in this thing that's kind of been on my mind for a while.
I think it's a great idea when you came to me and said, "Hey, I want to start talking about some of the local restaurants because they have been hugely affected by this global pandemic and were shut down for quite a long time at the beginning and have had to navigate different waters than they're used to, I'm sure." So,
yeah.
What have you found with all of that?
Well, a lot of restaurants in general is a tough business, and COVID has not made it any easier. It's made it a lot harder. In fact, a lot of places have shut down. A lot of my favorite restaurants have really had a hard time even figuring out how to do business going forward. If you haven't, is anyone's never seen Southern Smoke benefit in Houston that benefits local restaurants? You guys got to check that out. They normally do a big food sort of fiesta thing every year and take money from that. But this year they couldn't do that because of COVID restrictions, so they're taking online donations. It's ran by Chris Shepard, who is a great chef with 3 restaurants down in Houston. And it's all about trying to keep these places open. And it's been a real problem, just trying to keep these places going. And it's a shame because restaurants are kind of the soul of an area.
Yeah.
Whenever you take a trip or, you go on a vacation.
Where's the greatest place to eat?
Where's the best place to eat, right? That's how you know where you've been, right?
Yeah.
About what you've eaten. So, and I've always traveled by that philosophy of finding the best place to eat first. And it's been really difficult for me as, I have a food blog.
Yeah.
And it has 2 purposes. First is to showcase what I do as far as cooking is concerned and my journey as a cook. But beyond that, it is to highlight the restaurants that I eat at and make sure they get a little bit of promotion. And I haven't had that many restaurants that I've been able to go to because of COVID restrictions, and I get sick of eating my own cooking. So,
a big part of the restaurant experience is sitting down, dining with your family,
right.
The atmosphere, all that. And because of the way life is currently, that's been harder. I know that they have
that's
open
just
restaurants
anxiety now, right?
Yeah, but it's like I don't know about going if they don't have this, and this in place. It seems a little riskier. So
sitting down at a table and eating with your family has become a real you have to think. So if things go badly, how am I going to handle the bills?
Right.
That sort of thing. So, but there are some restaurants who have made adjustments to the circumstances. And locally, we've had quite a few that have done a really good job of altering their business model, altering how they deliver service, and even at times altering their prices to make it, A, safe for their employees to work so their employees stay healthy, and B, safe for their clients to keep coming to their businesses and getting the product that they serve, even if it has to be completely different than the way they normally do it. And just want to take this time to sort of make a positive input into the universe since we get swamped with so much negative now.
Yeah, definitely.
And so we're just going to talk about a few restaurants. The first one we're going to talk about is this restaurant locally called Herradurus. And if you live locally, Herradurus is located in the old shopping center. Used to be the Angelina Mall.
And where the Randall's shopping center
Where the Randall's shopping center is, yeah.
And to be specific, it is 3049 South John Redditt Drive.
Yeah, that I would give the address, but then I lived here for 40 years, and that means nothing to me.
Yeah.
You have to tell me where
the
it is.
Randall's Shopping Center if you live in Lefkin.
If you live in Randall Shopping Center. And Herradurus is a Mexican food restaurant. Tex-Mex, sort of, but it's actually a little bit more authentic than that. It's they do a lot of neat tableside things, typically where they'll make guacamole at your table. The food there, I personally, if you know a little bit about me, I live with a bunch of Mexicans. That's pretty much my whole family, and they love the food there. So
that's high praise when authentic Mexicans,
genuine Mexicans will eat there, and they love it. And when COVID hit, they were one of the ones that were hardest hit because their restaurant, while huge, it is dominated sort of by this open table type situation that was very not good for COVID restrictions. They didn't have any room there to do things like a drive-through, or there was
the nature of their location. It's just real hard.
Yeah,
for that. Yeah.
The nature of the location was really difficult for them going forward, and so they shut down for a little bit, and then they figured out how to reopen. They closed their doors completely. They brought out a table out to their actual sidewalk to the parking lot and made a sort of makeshift drive-through.
Yeah.
And so they had these family plates that they had where they would take a bunch of one thing with rice and beans and call it a family meal and give it at a reduced price. And the price was reduced by as much as 25 to 30%. So it was a stunning deal, first of all, and it was a huge amount of food. So
it was
would be
a
like,
huge amount of food.
It's like, it would be like flautas, if you know what those are. They're little taquitos, fried. It would be, they would have fajitas, they would have tacos, they would have enchiladas. The enchiladas were fantastic. Yes. I'm glad you mentioned enchiladas.
And tamales. I think they did tamales, right?
They did tamales too. And everything had these gigantic sides with it. They had their rice and bean sides were like, that's enough for 6 people.
I think we had an entire 9x13 tray of just rice.
Yes, exactly.
When we got one, it was huge. It was more food than you possibly could eat.
And they would give it to you for like $25.
Yeah.
And they did this for quite a few months, and that things like that, it separated you out. By the way, when they brought your food out, they were always wearing gloves and masks. I mean, they were really being safe about it. It separated their employees out from their customers so that transmission vector was lowered, and it was at a lower price. So people that had been at that time, this was at the beginning of the whole shutdown, so a lot of people were laid off temporarily, and they adjusted their prices so that people who were bringing in less money could still afford to get a good amount of food. And the makeshift drive-through idea I just thought it was just brilliant, you know, because
they took the lemons and they made some lemonade.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. Yeah, they took a bad situation and made it a little bit better. And since then, they've shut down the drive-through, but they have adjusted the inside of the restaurant so that there are fewer tables, there's more room in between each one, and their speed of service is faster than it was before. They still do a pretty good takeout business. They don't have those takeout plates anymore, but those might be coming back because of
the holidays.
Those are coming back sometime soon. So in general, the food was really good. The price was really good, and I felt safe ordering there from my family, even in the thick of this whole crisis. So Herradura's is my very first COVID safe zone.
I can definitely second that because I remember when the shutdown was in the middle of everything, Megan had said, hey, Herradura's is doing this family plate thing where you can get, a dozen, enchiladas and a dozen tacos and rice and beans, and it's like $25. And it was like, what? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, like
I think I'm off on the numbers, but it was something ridiculous.
No,
like
it
that.
was 20
crazy.
It was $20 to $25. I remember we would get, because I had 6 people in the house, we would get 2 of them. Get two different
meals,
ones, and it was it never was above $60.
Yeah.
And
it'll feed you for days.
Yeah, it would feed you for literal days.
Yeah.
And so it was a lifesaver. It was one of those things that made COVID seem not that bad. And when you're in the middle of this anxiety, something that makes it feel not that bad can go much further, than having the same deal when everything is going fine in your life.
Well, and they made it super easy. They posted the deals on their Facebook page and various other places online, and all you had to do was call and say, I want this. That was literally it. You didn't have to do anything else, and because everything was included in that price. So, to me, that made it, you're already anxious about everything else. All you have to do is call this one place. I want the enchilada family meal. Boom, you're done. You go pick it up, and it was super easy, and I thought very smart for their business. You know, if they're not going to make deliveries, that was like the next best thing, make a makeshift drive-through.
And they still do deals, by the way. They're not as good as those deals, but they still do deals. If you go on their Facebook page, you just sort of flip through their pictures. Everything is done by pictures because it's that way. It's completely bilingual, and you can flip through there and see what deal they're running on what day. It's like each day has a different sort of meal deal going on. They're, like I said, it's not the COVID deals, but they're still pretty good. And I recommend anything that they make because they're really, really authentic, and they take their time to make fresh ingredients. They're not they're not making steamed rice and canned beans. You know, they're doing the thing for you.
This is all authentic family cooking. Do you happen to know the owners by chance?
I don't know them. I don't know them personally. I did. I've spoken with them a couple times at the beginning when they first opened, because I was stunned when they started doing table service with the molcajete bowls, where they would make the guac for you at the table. And something I had never seen in Lufkin before. I've seen it before, but Lufkin doesn't normally, have anything that's that sort of posh and interesting.
Yeah.
And I was like, why'd you guys decide to do that? And they said, well, we just figured we had it here, so why wouldn't we? It was just
Right.
There was no reason not to. And that's like that sort of simplistic, simple is better style of service and cooking really appeals to me. And so I think that's kind of the same thing the way they approach the whole COVID-19 thing. So, all right, we can't have people inside, so let's have them outside.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple.
Adaptability during this time has been really key. And, being able to kind of navigate these changes and maybe take a smaller profit margin so that your customers don't have to, their wallets take a bit of a break.
Yeah, smaller is definitely bigger than zero. And that was what we were all looking at for a while there.
Yeah.
It was like, how is anybody going to do business in this situation? The fact that they were able to thrive, and I mean now I'm not sure if I have to go back and I really want to talk to the guy see how much of a hit he took, because when it was going on, the whole outside drive-through, there was a line.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
There was a consistent line of people getting food out of there. So they probably did a pretty brisk business even when they couldn't open their doors.
Yeah.
It can be done, guys. It's not all gloom and doom. It's not all hopeless for these businesses. It just takes a little bit of adjustment and a little bit of luck, and you can get it done. I think if you keep in mind that your customers need to be safe, workers need to be safe, and you need to adjust to that, I think that most businesses will probably come out of this okay. There's a few more that have done a really good job too besides this, which we'll talk about in future segments.
Definitely. Well, thanks for coming on and kind of opening our eyes to some local businesses. If you guys are interested in Herraduras, you can give them a call at 936-899-7200. You can go on their Facebook page and take a look at their menu and all the specials that they're currently offering. And we really encourage you to go support a local business, locally owned, and especially during this time that is really a struggle for everybody, given the nature of the situation, for everyone not having a job or having a reduced salary. So if you can support other people in your community and kind of get that goodwill circling back around, I think we'll all be better off for it. So thanks, Ray. We'll try to do this again next time and highlight a different restaurant in the area. And we hope you guys are all hungry now. So go order some Mexican food. All right, guys. If you want to listen to any of our podcasts, go on our website at PaynePoints.com, click on the podcast tab, or you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. That's going to be it for us today, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.